My name is Suzanne Nyberg, and I live at 36844 Long Rifle Road. And on your budget, I was okay with most of it. The part that I wish to speak about is your $850,000 for a splash pad, a Veterans Memorial, and an amphitheater cover. And I think that that's not something we need to spend money on, but the reason I think that is because, and I know this isn't your focus from listening to you, your focus is to promote business in the town center and spend money advertising to bring people up here and get crowds and have art fairs. And as a citizen here, I find having all these art fairs and all these things happening in the town center just annoying. I would like us to, I think we moved here many years ago because we wanted to live in a quiet bedroom community, and your function is to act like a business. Now, not too long ago, you want to get sales tax and help the businesses right around the town core. And a little while ago, you spoke and you said you didn't want to, when you were talking about donating money to the library, you didn't think the government should be in the business of picking winners and losers for nonprofits. I don't think the government should be in the business of picking winners and losers for the businesses. All your advertising efforts are right around the town center. You're not helping Bashas or other businesses. I don't really want you to help any businesses, and I don't want you to bring a lot of people into town and make it hard to drive around and park and go to the post office. I find that annoying. Or have the, well, you said you're not doing it again, the 10,000 people for the balloon thing at the Carefree Conference Resort. So my idea of what I would like is totally at odds with what your idea of what you think you should do to promote business and bring a lot of people here. So that's all I want. One thing before I leave is there are some other citizens here, and I'd like to ask them to raise their hand if they could relate to what I was talking about, if that was something they were interested in. If you look around, there's several people here that agree with me.
Thank you.
I would like this to remain a quiet bedroom community and not have masses of people descend on our town. And I can see that your focus is something different.
Yeah.
But those people here that came and sat here for an hour and a half, I think they came because they'd like us to be a bedroom community and not spend money, especially probably the $850,000 on those things. So I have a different viewpoint.
And do you realize that without sales tax revenue from our businesses, we're probably going to have to be instituting a property tax? I mean, do you realize that that's what goes to pay for our roads and our services?
Spending all the money on the PR and those things to attract business, then you would have that money to spend on roads.
But
and your businesses
you ask the people a question.
Okay.
Let me ask a question. You have free public fire service. It used to be that you had to pay for that out of your own pocket. Subscription. And it costs people average $600 to $800 a year. It costs us about $1.3 million a year to give you free fire service. If we don't bring these businesses in, would you be willing to abandon free fire service and start paying on your own? Go back to subscription?
My husband and I would, yes.
There's another choice.
You don't have to subscribe.
Well, the other choice is, well, we would put in the only way that works is mandatory subscription.
Well, it wasn't that way before.
That's
It ain't going to be that way in the future either. It's going to be mandatory subscription or a property tax if you want fire protection from Carefree. Either we get the money from sales tax, or we go back to subscription, or you guys are going to be facing property tax or no fire protection.
Because you can't have it where one house can burn and they
And
can't
police.
respond. So some of these points that we're talking about, just so you know, they didn't pop up. At some of our council meetings from several years ago, some of these things started getting talked about. And we will be beating this to death before, spade is put to dirt. So there will be plenty of opportunity to be heard on this. Mr. Mayor, would you nod affirmatively? Okay.
Give me a good example. The playground
please.
equipment took 3 years, $35,000. Took 3 years.
Because we do go through the trouble of making pretty sure we're getting it right before we spend anybody's money. So I don't want you to think that that's like a, yes, expect to see it next month.
And in fact, we have to have
Yeah.
public comment. We have to,
Yeah.
there's no choice.
Councilman, Jim, I'm not finished. When we adopt the bottom line, we by law cannot exceed that expenditure. So we have to anticipate possible expenditures for the next year. That's why that $850,000 is in there. Do I expect to spend that next year? If we get very lucky, we may have a series of hearings and public information about things. If we had an occasion several years ago where the Christmas festival was very successful. They got a lot of money in that they didn't expect to get. Jim Keene, the town accountant down there, jumped through hoops to allow that Christmas festival to take the donations and actually use them because we hadn't made the bottom line big enough. That's why we have a large bottom line and some of the things in there that you may not expect to see, is to anticipate future possibilities.